मुझे देख के खुशी हो रही है। आपको पता होना चाहिए कि स्पोर्ट्स के जो मकासद हैं वो सिर्फ बेहतरीन तफरी और बेहतरीन मुकाबला ही नहीं करना, बल्कि आपके अंदर स्पोर्ट्स एक पैशन पैदा करती है, एक compete करने का, आगे बढ़ने का जज्बा पैदा करती है, आगे बढ़ने की जुस्तजू पैदा करती है। जहां आपको स्पोर्ट्स जीतने के आदाब जिंदगी में सिखाती है, जिस ज़र्फ से आपने जीतना है और जीत के बाद जिस तरह फला हुआ दरख्त झुक जाता है, इस तरह दूसरे का ख्याल करना है। वहां पे स्पोर्ट्स आपको ये भी सिखाती है कि अगर हारना है तो किस ग्रेस से हारना है। स्पोर्ट्स आपको ये भी सिखाती है कि हारने के बाद नाउमीद नहीं होना, ट्राई अगेन की मिसदाक, आगे बढ़ना है, दोबारा कोशिश करनी है और दोबारा फिर खड़े होना है अगले कंपटीशन में। आपको स्पोर्ट्स ये भी लेसन सिखाती है कि दुनिया में आपने रूल्स ऑफ द गेम जो है उसको फॉलो करना है, कवानीन का आदाब, अंपायर के फैसलों का एहतराम, और कभी भी अंपायर को साथ मिलाने की कोशिश नहीं करनी, क्योंकि चीटिंग जो है वो आपको हमेशा इज्जत की बजाय शर्मिंदगी और नदामत ही देगी। मैं समझता हूं कि मुल्क भर में नौजवानों को खेलों के मुकाबलों में हिस्सा लेने के लिए मसावी मौके फराहम करने से सेहतमंद मुआशरे का क़याम अमल में लाया जा सकता है।
गवर्नर पंजाब बलीगुर रहमान लाहौर में तकरीब से खिताब कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा कि वज़ीर आज़म यूथ प्रोग्राम के तहत नौजवानों की सलाहियतों को निखारने के लिए तमाम तर मुमकिन इक़दाम किए जा रहे हैं। और नाज़रीन, अब रुख
टॉक्ड ऑफ, देख मशरिक से उभरते हुए सूरज को देख, सी द सन राइजिंग इन द ईस्ट। ही टॉक्ड ऑफ द rise and resurgence of Asia, and he also talked of the rise of China. 90 years ago he predicted that. गरा ख्वाब चीनी संभलने लगे, हिमालय के चश्मे उभरने लगे, गया दौर सरमायादारी गया, तमाशा दिखा के मदारी गया. The rise of China was predicted. So this was the vision of Allama Iqbal, who was a great supporter of the Palestine cause, the Kashmir cause. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, in his first interview with a foreign journalist, published in the Life magazine, which is the American magazine, 5th of January 1948, it's a cover story, he gave to an American journalist, a lady called Margaret Bourke White. The interview was in October 47, and October 47, as we know from history, Pakistan is at war with India. We hardly have a state or a bureaucracy, an army. There is an influx of refugees, an exodus of people, 10 million people, exchange of population. A war in Kashmir. India is holding up our money. And she asked the Quaid, what is the future of Pakistan? What is Pakistan's role going to be? And the Quaid, with confidence, with clarity, with an amazing vision, because he's probably one of the greatest statesmen of the Muslim statesmen of the 20th century, and he said, look here, Pakistan is the pivot of the world placed on the frontier where the future geopolitics of the world revolves. With that confidence, and that is our role has been mentioned there. And Qaid-e-Millat Liaquat Ali Khan, when he went on his famous visit to United States of America with Begum Rana Liaquat Ali Khan in May 1950, he addressed the American Congress, he made speeches, and there's a compendium of his speeches which has been published with a foreword written by the top American journalist of the time, Walter Lippmann. And the speech, the booklet is titled, Pakistan, the Heart of Asia. This is 1950. Now we have Heart of Asia conferences in Istanbul, in different parts of Asia. Heart of Asia. So the vision of Pakistan was not that it's a country confined only to this area, this region. It's a larger vision. And that is why Quaid-e-Azam spoke about Palestine, spoke about Indonesia, the War of Liberation, supported the Maghreb countries, North African countries, Kashmir. And when Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the great statesman of Turkey, died in October 38, he told the Muslims of South Asia, today it is a day of national mourning. The All India Muslim League marked that day as a day of mourning all over India, 1938. It was under. So that was the larger, broader vision, a role which we have tried to perform, at times successfully, at times not so successfully. But when we talk of the changes, I think, which are impacting on us, I will sum it up for our region in 3 R's. The retrenchment of American power in the Muslim world, broader Middle East, the resurgence of Asia, and the rise of Hindutva in India, which is transforming a society, a state, which was based once on Nehruvian secularism and an inclusive pluralist democracy into a bigoted, divisive, narrow republic of Hindutva, which is targeting non-Hindu minorities like Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Dalits. And this is a very important and major transformation that we see. And what are the major trends of our times, which are very important? The first one is that we are seeing the signs of a new Cold War, focusing partly in Europe, partly in Asia, with the demonization of Russia, demonization of China. The great American scholar and statesman and the top expert on Russia, he was ambassador also, George F. Kennan, had written in the New York Times in 1997 that if NATO expands to the borders of Russia, that will be the most fateful error in American foreign policy in the post-Cold War era. And it is unfortunate that even after the end of the Cold War, the NATO alliance is becoming a major factor and is now even having footprints in India and other parts of the world. And of course, there is the context to what Russia has done in Ukraine, but the broader context has to be seen also. Then the second focus of the new Cold War is on China. And I think as a student of American foreign policy, having lived in America for 4 years, I'm reminded of the speech by President Eisenhower just before he retired. And this is General Eisenhower. And the speech was delivered, his farewell speech after 8 years as president, on 17th of January 1961. And he said, I want to warn my fellow Americans of the emergence of a military-industrial complex, which is the heart of the American establishment. That this is, and this military-industrial complex, they had a very convenient enemy in communism, in Soviet Union. After Soviet Union, it became Islam and the Muslims, and now it's the turn of China, it seems, and of course, Russia and Europe. So, and at the core of this new Cold War with China, the flashpoints have increased. We have a flashpoint in Korea, we have a flashpoint in South Asia, India, China, Pakistan, India. We have a flashpoint in the Middle East, Palestine, because the RSS now is also in power in Israel with the religious Zionist party, the mindset, and Jewish Power Party. Their mindset is the same. We have a flashpoint in Europe, Ukraine, and the fifth flashpoint is very important. Aziz Mehman Saab talked of the economy. It's the trade and tech war between the US and China. And since this is an informed audience, I'd like to mention, please read a report issued by the Harvard University.
चेयरमैन सैनिक डिफेंस कमेटी मुशाहिद हुसैन सैयद कराची में